So there's been a lot of talk about the shutdown, how organizations should be responding. So I just wanted to answer some questions that we've been receiving and see if we can kind of dispel some misunderstandings and also kind of provide some real tangible guidance that you can use. So the first question is, how is the shutdown affecting grantees right now, even those whose funding isn't technically paused? This is a question that I get a lot. So it's, similar to what air traffic controllers, law enforcement are doing. They're going out and doing the work, but not getting paid. And that's similar to what's happening with grant funding. Now, the good news is it doesn't look like all of the payment management systems, so PMS or ASAP, which are the common funding disbursement mechanisms, are going to be impacting. But I think that we need to also see, over the length of time that this shutdown progresses, how much that's going to impact grantees to access their funding. So basically, that's the issue. How long, if you look at your operating reserves, if you have operating reserves or if you are a government organization, do you have financials in your budget that could cover the short-term funding that you're going to need for continuing the project or program that you receive funding for through a federal grant? And also, it is important to communicate perhaps with your contractors. If this is a heavy time right now for some of the construction projects, it might not be a good time to focus on that. Perhaps pause on that until the shutdown is over. But I think it's important to document all of the expenses, all of the revenue that you might be receiving if you have project income. So do the work that you would normally do to administer the grant, but also just be mindful of how much you could be financially responsible for should there be any situation that could impact your receipt of funding and paying your contractors, dispersing funds to subrecipients, things like that. I would be very mindful of that.